Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial on the agent templates which we have released on the GitHub repository. And these agent templates allows you to create a multi-agent demo fully built in MuleSoft using the AI Chain connector, the A2A and MCP connectors. So let's take a quick look what the multi-agent demo is, and then we will jump into the tutorial. So this is the multi-agent demo where you can interact with a host agent, also domain agent. We have two possibilities to use here. Either we can use the inference connector or the Einstein connector. I'm going to use the Einstein connector for now, as the inference connector requires an OpenAI API key. And I have here the area to add agents by their A2A agent card, as well as the conversation tab. So let's ask a generic question to this agent. As it's a domain agent, it should be able to answer the generic question. But if I will become a little more specific, it shouldn't be able to answer my query because it's looking for specialized agent. And now I can add a specialized agent by providing the um, agent card here. So I can say this is a Bedrock agent, and you see this agent immediately appears here. And if I ask the same question, it will go to the agent and answer the user query with the help of the agent. So you can see this is how it is working. If I would like to initiate a multi-agent interaction, then I can also do it. I can add multiple agents here dynamically to this domain and can interact with these agents, let's say in parallel. If I enter this and say get account details for homeland, it should do both in parallel and represent the answers directly here. So you can see it is asking at the same time both of the agents, and the one takes longer than the other, and we get a response summarized by the domain agent. Also, you can see here the detailed interactions between the agent and how the domain agent is receiving this information. So now you can see we received the information. So this is basically the whole multi-agent demo. You can add dynamically agents at any time and interact with the domain agent in a conversation to utilize these specialized agents. So let's now jump into the tutorial. And what we are going to do is in the tutorial, we will first go into cloning the repository. What is the repository? So the repository contains MCP server templates and specialized agent templates for simple agent, complex agent, and Agentforce agent. We are going to quickly deploy all of those and the domain agent, which is the interaction agent in the repository. So let's take a look. In the dedicated branch for this, we have here, this is the branch which has the latest update. So I'm going to clone the repository locally using this AL demo prompts unification cross agents branch. At the time you will be looking at the video, maybe we have merged it. Otherwise, use this branch um, uh, to utilize this demo. And in the branch, you will see that we have a AL demo folder, so A2A AL demo, and underneath of this folder, you will find all the different templates available. So we have two MCP server templates. One is more natively connecting using the MuleSoft connector, and the other one is utilizing existing APIs. We have an interaction agent template. This is the domain agent. And then we have 4 specialized agents. So we are going to start with the MCP server deployment and then go into the specialized agents. Once all the agents are deployed, we are going to look into the domain agent. So let's get started. Before we can start, I need to fire here the request on 1 second. I have to fire here the request on the GitHub repository. So this is the branch I would like to clone. Let me copy it from here. So the branch name should be, so yeah, that's the branch name. I'll copy it from the URL. So this is the branch. Okay, it's here on the bottom. From the GitHub repository. So the GitHub repository is the full thing. So, and at the end I need to enter git, and that should be cloning all the content in my directory. Let's see. Here I should have all the things cloned. So I will open this as a workspace and we will work in this A2A AL demo folder. So let's open now Studio, and in Studio I'm going to select, this is the right workspace, that's fine. So let's press on launch, and now this should start up. Okay, so my Studio is here. Just let me format it quickly and then we are ready. So let's make it fit into the frame. And now I will load from file system. So the first thing I need to load is, let's load all of them and then we are going to deploy it. Let's start with the CRM agent or CRM MCP server, which is here. So this is fine. Make sure you have the latest runtime installed, 4.9.6, or even 7 is released now. So finish it and it will load the project. And I can continue now with the next one, which is the ERP MCP. This is also fine. Load it. It should appear basically in the package explorer. Okay, the second one is also loaded. Now we will load the agents. Let's start with the Agentforce agent. This looks good. Click on finish. Mule import completed. No, not yet. 75%. Okay, now it's there. Next one is the CRM agent. This is fine. Let's press finish. Okay, so we will import it and then we get started with configuring each of the agents and deploying it. So this is a dedicated agent with Einstein AI, which is using the Models API behind the scenes. So let's see, this looks good. Also imported, and the final one is the ERP agent from the Specialized Agents. And after that, we have the domain agent, which we are going to deploy as well. So let's load it. This is the final agent. Okay, so let's take a look now into what we have here. So all are loaded. So let me kind of collapse all quickly. No, I have to do it like this, but anyway, let's quickly do it so we see what we have loaded into Studio. So we have 2 MCP servers. We have 5 agents. 4 are specialized agents, and 1 is a domain agent, the interaction agent. And we are going to start with the MCP demo ERP. where you can just simply hit the deployment button. Make sure to rename this file. This file is using some mocked APIs which are representing the orders and the inventory. Let's quickly take a look. So in the MCP server demo, you will see we have two types of a single tool deployed. One is using SSE, the other one is using streamable HTTP, and both are doing the same. We are doing a call out to our um, mocked API on inventory, which is returning a number, and then the same we do with the posting of order and a fake delivery, which is also mocked, where you input the order number to provide basically the result. And in the same manner, we have built the CRM server demo. You have here two types of the same tool, SSE and HTTP, but here we are directly accessing the MuleSoft Salesforce connector to load the data, to update the data, to create the data in Salesforce for the account object instead of leveraging the API. So you have both examples here. One is leveraging existing APIs with the call out, and the second one is leveraging the native connector of MuleSoft in the MCP tool listener flows. So these are the two servers we are going to deploy. Let's quickly rename this file config.properties directly into config.properties without the example. And let's close all the other templates. So we just see what we need to see. So this is for the ERP server, and here you can see this is our demo application which is deployed. Then we have the second one, the CRM server. Same here, you need to provide your Salesforce user name and password, which I will do in a second. Just before that, I will rename the file. So the file is now renamed. This is good. And here is also fine. Let me just get the credentials and put it in, and we will continue then. So I've updated my credentials, and now we are going to deploy these two servers directly to my AnyPoint environment. So let's deploy from here to Cloud Hub. And in Cloud Hub, I have this tutorial. So let's say tutorial. This is the MCP server app. Let me put this at the end maybe. So this is like this. This should be our pattern, and I will deploy it in a shared space. This should be memory intensive. And once you are done, click on the deploy button, and the same we will do for the ERP MCP server. Once this one is deployed, I will also deploy the MCP ERP demo server and come back. Okay, so now both servers are deployed. Let's take a look here. We have the MCP CRM server, which I can copy the link here. We can also go to the ERP server, and let's test it out in Postman. I will load it here, MCP connect, and I should be able to see the 4 tools from the CRM MCP server, and I could do the same with the ERP server. Let's go MCP connect, and I should see check inventory, submit delivery, submit order. So yeah, that's available here, and let's hit also one of the tools to be executed. It is Mule test 0. Hit, and I should get a response here. So this is a response. So it's working. That's fine. And now we will continue with the agent deployments. So let's go right away. So let's close these. And we are going to start with the Agentforce agent. The Agentforce agent template is also straight. You will see these three files. For any type of Agentforce agent, I have, of course, here a reservation agent. So the A to A server flow is just a to A communication. The agent is capable of supporting this standard. Then you have the app, which is containing the implementation of the Agentforce agent. You basically don't have to worry about anything here. It's all fully configured. What you need to make sure is that you assign the right ID of your Agentforce agent, which is then here. If you click on the start conversation, you have to pass the ID here. This is the ID you get from Agentforce when you are in the Agentforce environment. You have this agent. This is my agent, and in the URL you will find the ID, which I will copy. I think it's actually the ID which I'm using. Yeah, so this is my ID, and make sure to provide the configuration parameters in the properties file. So when we go back here, um, that's the only thing you need for the Agentforce agent. Okay, so once it responds, we can continue, and I can show you the configuration file, because in the global elements, everything is already pre-configured. You need to make sure that you fill out the right information for your Agentforce agent. And for the A to A server, you can also see we have fully parameterized the skills. This is something you need to remember. The resource where the agent path, where it's deployed, this agent has just one skill, which is fine, and all these parameters are stored in the configuration properties. So you can now enter your token URL, client ID, and client secret before you deploy this agent. And once it's deployed, you need to provide the URL here. So we are going to do it together for all the agents, but let's walk through each of the agents, and then I will update with my configuration files. Okay, so let me close it here. So that was the Agentforce agent. We continue with the CRM agent. Again, it has some of the configuration files here. The very first one is the A to A server flow. It looks very similar to the one of Agentforce. We have the implementation itself. And the CRM agent is a little different than the ERP agent. The logic is the same. You will see we have the create plan and we have the assess and execute. But here we are using the MCP client side of the MCP connector, while as in the ERP agent, we are using the native MCP support in the inference connector, which is directly used here as an operation. For the CRM one, we are using the native template, which is doing just the reasoning and not the execution. So this is basically the full template we have for the CRM agent. And let's quickly take also a look into the ERP agent so we see what is the difference between the two. And there's not much difference. It's really this operation. So you can see here we have 3 flows, and in the CRM one we have 4 flows, which is including the dynamic execution using the MCP client side of the connector. So this is the main difference, but then you have here the create plan and execute, which is very similar than the other one on the ERP side. And these are the two flows which are reasoning, planning, and assessing the user query until it is met. We are controlling these two processors in both of the agents via prompt files. And these prompt files are loaded once in the CRM headless agent prompts or ERP headless agent prompts from a dedicated location. So let's open just once to see what it is. We are just loading it once, and the moment it's loaded, that's it. It's in memory. So, and the files, they are stored here under prompts. So you can see this is the agent planning instructions, mainly for this create plan, and agent tooling instruction is for the MCP tooling. So let's open one of these, or actually both, and we can look at it. So this is the planning part where we are exactly describing what we are expecting from the planner processor with what are the objectives, the tasks, the rules for tool identification, and the output guidelines. And here you can see the goals, instruction, and constraints. That's how the whole thing is controlling the user's query. And if you want to make it a specialized agent, you need to provide some information here in the create planning. You're a planner agent, yeah, and yeah, not much, but the specialization comes from the tools which you make available to this agent. And these tools are configured also via configuration files. So that's just the base structure of these two agents. You will see both have also here the configuration files, where at the top you will provide the MCP server URL, which actually we can now enter as we have it here. So let me disconnect and I will add the MCP server URL for the ERP agent, and same I will do for the CRM agent. Along other properties I will fill out. So let me just disconnect here and copy, paste it. That's fine. And after I provided here also the OpenAI API key, I will deploy these models. Let me close it for now. And the final one, specialized agent, is the Einstein AI agent. You can see it's very similar, but it's a simple agent, not a complex one like ERP and CRM. You have the A2A protocol support. You have the implementation. And this is an implementation where we are not using MCP as tooling, but we are instructing the agent to generate uh, the tool configuration. So we say it has only 3 tools available, like get lead, create lead, and delete leads, and that's it. And we give exact information how to prepare the payload for each of those tools available, and it should just identify based on the user's query, user's prompt, what tool is needed. And once it identifies the tool, and it's not out of context, because there's one instruction where we say um, if the user prompt is about something different, reply action out of context. So the action won't be delete lead, create lead, or get lead. In such a case, it will say that the information is not uh, if something he is not specialized to answer. Otherwise, it will do a flow call, where the flow is the action, and that's what is called here. So create lead, we have get lead and delete lead, and that's also a different approach, more closed approach to use tooling as mule flows instead of MCP. You can do the same thing with APIs. So MCP is just one of the standard to utilize by agents. This is the other way to allow the agent in a closed and isolated manner to leverage tools within its boundaries. So that's the Einstein AI connector, and you see there's not much replanning. It's just a single simple flow which the agent is executing and then responding to the user's query. It's not a complex one which is re-reasoning and reassessing like the ERP and CRM flows. So, and then you have, of course, the prompts which we have here, which are loaded. Actually, yeah, it is here. Let me check if those are provided as well. Yeah, these instruction prompts are provided as well. But actually, I saw it, they are not mapped. So that's something we need to do in the repository and submit the change. So that's actually the simple agent we are going to deploy. And what you need here is also, once it's deployed, the Cloud Hub URL. But before that, you need a HubSpot token because we are creating leads in HubSpot, and the token URL, client ID, and client secret for the Models API in Salesforce. So we are going to provide all this configuration before we deploy it. And the final agent, which is the domain agent, we will continue once we have deployed these agents. So let me just get the files filled out and deploy the agents. Okay, I have provided all the files. So you can see in each of those I have my config properties. This is required. Don't deploy it without the config.properties, otherwise it will not be able to deploy. And now we can hit all these 4 agents to be deployed on Cloud Hub. And let me just put the same naming convention here. So we have the A2A Agentforce agent, reservation agent. Let's say we reduce it here. Just a reservation agent, and we say tutorial app. So this should be right before. Okay, so that's the pattern. We are going to deploy it in Cloud Hub. Okay, let me just do it again. So that's the pattern. And it's in Cloud Hub shared space. We select memory intensive and deploy the application. And I will deploy all 4 before we continue. So while the agents are being deployed, let's quickly summarize what we have done. We have deployed 2 complex agents, fully capable of planning and reasoning, as well as executing on user behalf the tools which are required to fulfill the user's query. These 2 agents are leveraging MCP servers, which are also deployed on Cloud Hub, and leveraging open AI behind the scenes using the inference connector with the account management agent and the sales and distribution agent. And those are being deployed. We have one more, which is the simple agent, the lead management agent, leveraging the Einstein Trust Layer and the Models API, and it is connected to HubSpot to reason upon 3 tools provided: create lead, retrieve lead, or delete lead. And it's also being deployed right now. And the final one is the Agentforce agent, which is capable of doing reservation completely out of Salesforce. This has to be built and activated in Salesforce before you can deploy it. You just need to have the ID as well as the client credentials for the Agentforce agent to be deployed. So let's continue and see where we have deployed the agent. So a few of these agents are still under deployment. Let's start to provide the right property here. So we can see we have the URL already. This is the URL you need to set on the agent itself under properties. And the property you need is agent.host, and you provide that URL. Let me just see, this is the right format. Yes. So that's for the CRM agent, and we do this for all the other agents as well. So Einstein AI agent, this will be the URL we will need to retrieve for the multi-agent interaction. So agent.host, and same here, just cross-checking, that's fine. Apply, and we go to the next one, ERP agent, same here, copy properties, agent.host. We have here, let's check, this is fine. Apply, and the final one is the reservation agent. And here we are also going to copy the URL agent.host and check everything is fine. We apply the change and now we wait until this is done. But actually we can continue. This is just a matter of time. So the next thing is to deploy now the domain agent. So what is the domain agent responsible for? The domain agent is responsible of hosting or of interacting with specialized agent. It's the host agent which receives the user's query, and downstream it decides based on the user query which agent it need to uh, access to answer the user query. So we have created these 4 agents, and the host agent itself is based on either the inference connector or the models API. Based on what your purpose is, you can use both dynamically, either during runtime or decide for one um, of the patterns. So let's take a look into the logic of the interaction agent, and you can see we have more couple of more configuration files here because it also hosts the UI. So you can see here, first of all, this is the same thing what you have seen for other agents. This is the A2A protocol support for this domain agent because we want this agent to be also discoverable by another master domain or master agent. So that's number one. Then we are hosting here in the HTTP the UI deployment. The implementation is basically the logic we provide here. So you can see it's very similar to the logic we had in the specialized agents for CRM and ERP. But here we have just one flavor. Either we are going to use the trust layer, which is the Einstein Models API, or we are directly interacting with the LLM through the inference connector. And then we have here some of the logic, like this is the same logic you have seen before already, the planning phase and the tooling phase. And here we are just replanning, processing the replanning, and same happens with the Einstein AI connector. And once we know what to call, we are calling the right agent using the client of the A2A connector. That's just in a quick overview what this implementation does. Um, and same approach, we have here the prompts loaded once only for Einstein as well as inference. And there's a UI area, discovery of agents. So these are all the UI supporting functionalities we have here. No need to worry about it. You can just go into the configuration file and start providing the right URLs for your agents here. So we have those URLs already. So let's copy it here, and you can also see what are the models we are using. Here we are using GPT-4o Mini for the inference connector, and for Einstein we are using the GPT 4.1. So let's provide this information, and later on I will add my credentials for Salesforce and OpenAI. Okay, so let's go here. We get the CRM agent first. So copy it, provide the link here for the CRM agent, and I think this is something we need. So where do you get this information from? So let me just also quickly highlight this. So you have each of the specialized agents. So in the CRM agent, you can see we have here the global config. You go always to the A2A server, and this is basically what you need, CRM agent, right? So for ERP, it will be For ERP, it will be ERP agent. So you have to check this property. I know it already for the agent, so I will be pasting it here. So let's continue with the ERP agent. This is the ERP agent. Copy and go back. ERP agent. We have the Agentforce agent as well. So let's go here to the Agentforce agent, which is the reservation agent in my case. Copy link, return, and this is the Agentforce agent. And the final one should be the Einstein agent as a resource, if I'm not mistaken. But this is something you can change and define for your purpose. So these are the agents, and now I will put all the different informations here, and we will then proceed. So this was one information which need to be updated, and now the second one is in the web apps. So in the UI app, and we need to update actually the agents.html file. Why do we need to update this? Let me just quickly open it and go to the app itself. So in the app, you can see we have here some default functionality. So we are putting these 4 agents as default agent available. So when you open the UI, these are the first 4 agents you will see to make the ease on the demo side. This is provided, so I want to update this so it's reflect also in my UI, which I'm going to deploy right now. So let's look up for HTTPS colon, and now we should be able to find it. It's here. So these are the information I need to update. We have the ERP agent. Let's start with the ERP agent. So this, no, let's take this Einstein one first. So this is Einstein. I will update Einstein here and make sure to update on both areas because it's represented twice. So you can see this is the second one which you need to update, and you can also update if you want to say this is a LangChain agent, this is a Bedrock agent. This is up to you. We have this is our default, so we keep it. So one URL here and the other one here. Let me go to the next one, which is a CRM agent. And here I copy the link. The CRM agent is basically the same here and here on the second line. So this was the CRM agent, and I will continue now with the ERP agent probably. What is it? Yeah, this is the ERP agent, which is the top one. ERP agent, and this one is also the ERP agent. This is fine. And finally, we have the Agentforce agent, which is the reservation agent. Copy. And the reservation agent is here. It's the Agentforce agents tutor app. This is also here. Agentforce agent tutor app. 1 second. Select this. Okay, once you have done it, you are good. We can now deploy this application as well, and then just adjust the host URL once deployed. So, okay, let me give it a name here. This is tutor app, and we put it the same size memory intensive deploy application. So once this is deployed, we will return and see if everything is working. So the agent is also deployed, the interaction agent. So let's now try to access it, and you can access it by entering the URL index.html. That's the URL to use to access the agent. And now I can first of all see here I have everything available. This is fine. So let me just collapse it and see what are the agents offered to me. Tutor app, tutor app, tutor app. This looks good for me. Also, let me check here, and I will do the demo now. So what is the capital of Switzerland? It should answer it without the need of any specialized agent. Let me see if I can switch it to Einstein. Same here. It should work without. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll switch back to inference. And now let's say show product availability for 400-110, and it will say I can't check the product availability. So now I will add the ERP agent, this one, and this is a MuleSoft AI Chain agent. So that's fine. I can try to chat with the agent here. Show product availability for 400-110, and it should reply. This should be 250. So you can see 250, that's fine. So it's interactable. I can ask the same question, but change mule test 0. Or let's say check inventory for mule test 0. It's a complete different way of asking, but you can see now it is talking to the sales and distribution agent and returns the right number to me. And I can now also add the other one. So let's add the CRM agent, which is an Agentforce agent. Save. Let's say if I am able to get account details for Homeland. So you hit that request and it should now go into my Salesforce using the credentials I provided and list all the account details. So you can see here, this is for the Homeland company. You can also see here on those cards, because we are using the A2A protocol and retrieve the agent cards, we have all the skills available. So you can click on those skills to see exactly the description you have entered in the configuration properties file. So this is actually exactly from there. So the agent, the host agent, the domain agent is capable of using these. So you can also add here all the defaults. So it will override what you have done here. And now your default agents are added. It's the same, but you can see we set it MuleSoft AI Chain as the agents here. You can delete these agents if you want, they are gone. And in the conversation tab, you can see the full interaction between the agents and how they have been accessed. Let me see if I can also manage to have a multi-agent interaction. So let's say check inventory for mule test 0 and if available. Quantity is higher than 10,000 units, only then create a new account for ACB 1234 in Salesforce. Okay, so let's see what happens. It should go first to the inventory agent to check the inventory, and it is higher than the available quantity. So it will create the account in Salesforce and return probably the ID back to me. So here you can see it's all there, and we have a multi-agent interaction as well. You can also click on this show chain of thoughts to see when it interacted with which agent and what was the reasoning behind it. And here you can see now the full interaction. In the first planning phase, it executed just to get the inventory, and in the second planning phase, it saw that the inventory is higher than the expected number, so it created the account. And that's actually represented here by the replan count 1 and 2. So that's what we have deployed so far. And in some cases, you may want to have this domain agent also discoverable. So then in order to allow this agent to be discovered as well, you can go here basically and add the agent.host property and apply it here. And I think you have to also provide the skills in the configuration files, which you may have not added, which I didn't add. So that's something we would need to add in order to proceed. But I will not open my configuration files. It has all the keys for now. So that's it. Yeah, that's the demo. You build now end to end completely in MuleSoft. Everything is deployed in MuleSoft. We are taking out agents out of Salesforce, the Agentforce agents, and making them headless, as well as we have built using the Models API of Salesforce, agents using Einstein, and 2 agents completely native in MuleSoft AI Chain, leveraging the OpenAI LLMs behind the scenes. And then you have the interaction agent, which we also built. And this is capable of using the Models API or the Einstein or the OpenAI LLMs to represent the user's needs. And that's what you can switch from here. Inference Connector will use the OpenAI implementation, and Einstein will use the Models API behind the scenes, but also the OpenAI models. All right, so that's it for the tutorial. You can try it out on your side and report feedback. Thanks a lot.